If you are from the UK and you're looking for a PC build, this video is going to be the right one for you. I will show you 3 different PC builds for 3 different budgets that will give you excellent performance for the price. We are going to go over a £750 PC build, a £1,200 one, and last but not least, an £800 PC build. And don't worry, if your budget is different, you will have 4 extra bonus PCs in the video description along with all of these PCs that I'm about to mention, one being £500, the other one being £1,000, then one more being 2,500, and the last one being 4,000. So you will basically have every budget covered in this video plus the description. That being said, let's start. With the first system, we have the £750 gaming PC build. This is a 1440p and 1080p gaming. You get the Ryzen 5 5600 alongside the RX 6750 XT. The RX 6750 XT is a great GPU for the price. It has 12 gigs of VRAM, which will make it easy for both 1440p and 1080p gaming. So at 1080p you can play every single game with no issues, and I'm talking about even high demanding titles like Flight Simulator. At 1440p you're looking to lower the settings a little bit for this type of games, but if you're going to play games like Valorant, Fortnite, CSGO, even at 1440p you will be achieving high FPS, so you can buy a 1440p high refresh rate monitor. Then you get 16 gigs of RAM, 2x8 of DDR4 at 3200 MHz, which is the standard for gaming, a terabyte of Gen 4 SSD, which is going to be way more than enough for our build. Then we have the Gigabyte B550M DS3H for the motherboard, which is nothing crazy, but it's only going for £85, so it's going to get the job done for this build. Then for the case, we have the TechWare Forge Micro ATX Mini Tower case. I love the design of this one. It has a front mesh panel, enough airflow, and it comes with 3 pre-installed fans, so no need to add an extra fan, although you can add one if you want. I just don't think it's necessary. And then for the power supply, we have the MSI Mag 650W 80 plus bronze power supply. This is a nice power supply, nothing too crazy, and you get more wattage than you actually need for this build. So in the future, if you want to operate something like the CPU, you will have no issues with the power supply. With the next one, we have the £1,200 gaming PC build. This one has the Ryzen 5 7600, which if you are new to PCs, this is from the new AM5 platform, which means that it's more upgradable over time because it will support the new generations of CPUs. From AMD. Then for the graphics card, we have the RX 6950 XT going for £588. This is a great GPU for 1440p and 4K gaming. So yes, even if you play at 4K, you will have no issues running most titles with this PC. Then you get 1TB of Gen 4 SSD and 16 gigs of RAM alongside the Montech Air 1000 Premium ATX mid tower case. I absolutely love how this one looks, and if you don't like RGB, you can always turn it off. Then for the power supply, we have the MSI MPG A750GF. This is a 750W 80 plus gold power supply. It's A tier rated, meaning that it has really good quality and you will have no issues with this system. Now, like I said, the 6950 XT will run even games at 4K with no issues, but I highly recommend you this one if you're going to play at 1440p and you want the best experience out there at its resolution, since it's one of the best high-end GPUs for 1440p. But like I said, maybe you want to play at 1440p now, upgrade to 4K in the future, you can do that with this GPU. I wouldn't recommend it for anything lower than 1440p because you will be overspending your money if you're planning on playing at 1080p and you want to buy this GPU. And remember, with the Ryzen 5 7600, down the line you can drop a higher end GPU like the RX 7900 XT or maybe the RTX 4080, and you will have no issues and no bottlenecks, especially at 4K resolution. And last but definitely not least, we have the £1,800 gaming PC build with the Ryzen 7 7700X, the Thermalright Phantom Spirit for the CPU cooler, the Gigabyte B650 Gaming X for the motherboard, once again from the AM5 platform, but this one has better features than the other motherboard from the last PC, so it's more upgradable over time. Let's say in the future you want to put the Ryzen 7 7800X 3D, you can do that pretty easily. Then for the memory kit, we got the Corsair 32 gigs of RAM kit of DDR5 at 6000 MHz CL40 memory, so 32 gigs of RAM is actually not that necessary necessary for gaming. Some games will use more RAM than others, but if you're going to do streaming, content creation, 32 gigs of RAM is a nice to have. Then we have a terabyte of Gen 4 SSD, and you can upgrade to 2 terabytes if you feel like 1 terabyte is not enough. I actually recommend you doing that, but it will be out of budget if I did that for this video. But of course, if you have more money to spare, 2 terabytes are going to make a difference. Then for the graphics card, we have the RX 7900 XTX. This is a 24 gig graphics card for 4K resolution. I wouldn't recommend it for 1440p and of course not for 1080p, but if you're going to play at 4K and you want the highest FPS possible for the price, then this one is the right GPU. Of course, if you want the highest FPS at 4K, you can get the RTX 4090, but that one is much more expensive, and like I said at the beginning, you will have more expensive systems in the video description as bonus PCs. But for £1,800, you get a great graphics card here. Once again, for the case we have the Montech Air 1000 Premium. I love this case, like I said before, and it's only £53. But of course, if you want a different case, maybe you're willing to spend more money on a case, you can always put a different one. Just make sure your GPU is going to fit in that case and it has enough airflow. Then for the power supply, we have the NZXT C850. This is an 850 watt power supply. Nothing much to say about this power supply. There's nothing wrong with it, and the price is decent at £110. So this was the list of my 3 favorite PC builds for gaming that you can get right now in 2023 in the UK. Just remember, you will have all the links to these PCs in the video description, and I recommend you checking the latest prices because maybe it's more expensive or maybe it's a bit cheaper when you're watching this video, and you will also have the bonus systems in case your budget is different. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for the support, and I will see you on the next one.